I'll call this meeting to order at 6:30 and start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, welcome, everybody. Okay, we're going to start with the review of the minutes. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the minutes? Yes. Okay. At this time, I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes as submitted.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, I have a motion. Thank you. Do I have a second?
Seconded.
Excellent. Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, minutes have been approved. And then I have an A&R on Shady Lane. Is there anyone here to? How's it going? Good. Okay. Let me get the plan out here. You're right, chair. Okay, can you give us a little idea of what you're looking to do?
Sure. The client has an older deed, and the deed covers both sides of the road.
Okay. Yeah.
And it crosses both sides of the road.
Okay.
The west side that's shown here is the one with the house, east side vacant. So she's trying to split the two.
Okay.
So I don't know, maybe she can sell the house in the future.
Okay.
But it was all under one, both sides of the road, under one parcel. Now she's just trying to separate it.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
This 12 acres, just about, you want to get rid of?
Well, 13.
Maybe in the future, but
Right,
she's
so
trying to separate it from the other side of the road.
Okay, so lot A that's going to be created is going to be 13.5 acres, correct?
Correct.
What's the remaining of the land?
I got it listed here.
64. I read a little bit further.
Quite a bit.
I didn't read quite that far down the paragraph. Okay.
Yep.
And
Because she owns both sides of the road.
Yeah, her deed parcel crosses the road,
30.
Okay.
then comes back across. So
So usually we look for, make sure there's enough acreage. Yep, exactly. It looks like we have enough frontage on Shady. Existing house. Anyone on the board have any questions? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to, no, let's go through the checklist. Getting there. You know, I like to keep these meetings moving right. I like to keep these meetings moving right along. Okay. So 4 copies of plan we have, correct?
Yes.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, identification of the plan by name of owner. It is on there.
Yep.
Statement of approval under subdivision control law not required. That is on there. Zoning classification. Okay. In case of creation of new lot, the remaining land area frontage, land in ownership of the applicant. So yes, we have that. That's good. Notice of any decisions by the ZBA. We have none. Names of abutters. We have those on there.
Yep.
Distance to nearest permanent monument. I see those on there. Okay. Location of all existing buildings. We have the house. And location of any easement or way, and there is none. We have the 4 copies of Form A, 4 copies of A&R, description of lots, and the check. Perfect. All lots about a qualified way. All lots have adequate frontage. Vital access exists to each lot. And all lots have adequate acreage. They do. Okay. So at this time, I would entertain a motion to approve the plans as submitted. Go ahead, Dennis.
I'll make a motion that we approve it.
Excellent. Do I have a second?
I second it.
Excellent, thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor? Excellent. All set.
Are you moving with Mylar for her, or do you want me to? It's up to you, if you're gonna be seeing them. Okay. Can you sign this? I'll go make a photocopy of it for our record, while you guys sign everything else. Thank you.
Lori, we don't need 4 signed, right? Do we need 4 signed?
We usually give them to other offices, you can
Okay.
sign that if you want.
That's fine.
Almost every-
If you cheered, if you cheered, want
Yeah,
to stay for the evening.
Yeah. That way. So you can hang on to that.
Slide it. Oh, you're supposed to be here tonight.
Yeah. Yep.
Just made a mess of the paperwork. That's okay. I'm just gonna give the gentleman a couple of seconds to sign that, and then we'll move on to our next A&R.
So, so you're aware,
Mhm.
someone else there.
Okay.
If you have any questions, I can call him or text him, but it's pretty straightforward,
Perfect.
you know.
Where's the road? Or you want to skip it?
Well, I think we'll keep it in order. Good. Thank you. Of course.
This road. And this is the.
Then you're gonna. Have to get my signature.
Oh, back at the other end.
Okay, do we have someone from Greenstone Realty?
No,
Oh, that's,
that's,
gotcha.
Yep.
Okay, perfect, sorry. I didn't know. what it was.
that's okay, sorry.
You got it. Yes, do you have a copy of the plan for on Hubbardston Road?
We should inform them.
On the Hubbardston Road lot? Do you guys have a copy of that to look at? Yeah. Do you guys want to take a look at the plan?
The next day and after.
So, yep, I think so. Is that the green? Yep, that's Hubbardston Road. Okay, so it looks like they're creating how many new lots?
Four.
Four, okay.
Let's see. This is the Templeton Hubbardston line. This was marked off the other day.
This one looks like, yeah, so we got 149 is that, and then that's okay. I looked at that, was like a second,
180, right?
right, exactly.
Before.
So it looks down. Yeah, everything looks pretty straightforward.
This is what?
This could be RA2. It's okay.
Charlie, the checklist with, again, was in the packet.
Yep, I got one right. Yep. Right here.
This is gonna be what? What is this? One acre. That's not
Okay, so we got the 4 copies. Identification of the plan by name of owner of record.
three.
So we have Greenstone Realty, yes.
Oh,
Statement of approval under subdivision control not required.
That's-
I saw that,
there's
right?
a one. It's
Is it?
The question should be on there.
Oh, right there. Yep, found it. Zoning classification. This is RA2, correct?
It is.
zone 2. Is that where 2? No. Must be 2 acres.
In the notes.
I can actually go look on the map to be sure.
All right.
Oh, nope, it's there. Perfect. Case creation of new lot, the remaining land area in frontage of the land in the ownership of the applicant, and that is on there, correct? Greenstone, yes. Okay. Notice of any decision, ZBA, no.
No, they mean,
Name of any abutters, those are on there. Distance to nearest permanent monument. We saw some over there, correct? Yes. Location of all existing buildings, which I don't believe there's anything up there, correct? Okay. And location of any easement or way, there are none. We have the 4 copies of Form A, 4 copies of A&R, description of lots.
Must be 2 acres. Then the other 2 acres. This one, yeah, you got
Okay,
it.
that's right.
2
We
acres.
get the check,
This
and then all lots of abut a qualified way, right on Hubbardston Road.
Mhm.
All lots have adequate frontage. Check there.
Question, one of those only 149.
149.
Less than that.
So if you, yep, and then if you show it, so it's got 149 to that point, and then it's out.
It's here.
So it's, so right there, 186, And kind of frontage, yeah. I think, so they did put that, so like that one's got 160.
And what about the frontage? Is it 160? Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
And what's this?
That's not a lot.
So I think what it is, because that's measured to that point, and then that point, so if you add that all together, you get the 160.
All right.
So we just did that one. Vital access exists to each lot, so we have that. And all lots have adequate acreage. that they-
Yeah, according to. everyone.
I wonder if it's deep enough. Yeah.
We're gonna jump in a moment. Just a reviewing. Any questions from the board?
What's this delineated edge of a wetland on along Hubbardston Road?
One of the lots is in wetlands and they'll have to go before conservation.
Okay.
Any other questions from the board?
The only question I got, she said one lot has to go to conservation.
Mhm.
How can we approve a lot if conservation throws it out?
Because we can create a lot that's not buildable. Just because we create a lot doesn't mean it's buildable, so we can create something that,
Yeah.
you know, and then it's up to the owner's due diligence to go before conservation and see if they can build something.
And I believe when the engineer was filling me in, he stated that that particular lot, they left it a bigger amount of acreage to account for
Mhm.
the wetlands.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? At this time, I'd entertain a motion to approve the plan as submitted.
Motion to approve as submitted.
Excellent. Do I have a second? I will second it. Can I second? As chair? I can, correct? Exactly. Motion on the floor. Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor?
Okay.
Okay. So plans are approved.
The conservation,
No questions.
question about the conservation thing. Depending the conservation.
Actually, you don't have to do it pending conservation approval because it has the right amount of acreage and frontage. It would be up to conservation to put any restrictions on them.
If they can build on it.
Yeah.
With the conservation.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Lucky you.
I have it upside down.
It's just.
Now he's gonna think he's all
You
important.
can sign that one.
Now he's gonna think he's important in this.
Well.
The good land is gone.
Yeah, thank you.
Never thought I'd see Hubbardston Road built out.
Getting worse. Where is his next?
Dennis, do you have one? I think I already. Is that mine? Hang on. I have it right here. Nope, never mind. I got it. I'll slide these over and then I'll take it out.
That's fine. You want to put it in. There's that's right in front of the table. So they have an easel.
Oh, they do, did they?
I'm off to the side over here. Over here. We're in front. You want to set up? Is it out of ink? Throw that one away. You can go right up front.
Okay.
Right in front of the guy.
Speaking. Keep this minutes.
Along with the red one, for you.
I don't know about that.
Ah. That one either?
Maybe I'm not strong enough.
Use those muscles, come on. I know you got them.
Maybe 5 pens roll empty.
The report part was already in. Try.
It works.
Oh, it does, okay. Sir.
Well, so I did hear.
Oh, it's worth it.
One moment, we'll let you get started.
Right. Thank you.
Okay, gentlemen.
So my name is Brian Marchetti. I'm a registered professional engineer in Massachusetts. Here with John Plifka from our office. We're from McCarty Engineering. And we're here tonight on behalf of Earth Land Development LLC for this parcel off of Cottage Lane and Baker Lane in Templeton. It's about 26 acres. The applicant intends to have us permit a manufactured home park on this parcel. And we're just starting to get into the design phase of this, starting to look at it, do our due diligence. And I wanted to just meet with the board to have a discussion about the design criteria, what will be held to within the regulations. You know, there is a section in the zoning bylaws that outlines it and defines what we need to do to design it. But there was a little, a little gray area, in my opinion, with respect to what's allowed is if it needs to be held to the standard subdivision design regulations for roadway widths, sidewalks, slopes, things like that. So I guess specifically, first and foremost, that's one of the most important questions I have, because then that plays into the total developed area. You need to leave 70% as open space, undeveloped land, 30% can be developed. And then on top of that, what can be included in that open space area versus what's the total amount of impact that is allowed within that area? Because that plays into the width of the street, how far back these mobile home or manufactured homes are set from the roadway, the length of the driveways. It says a minimum 20 feet, but we like to give more, but the further out we go, the further the grading's pushed out. And to be held to a 30% maximum developed area, it makes a big difference. So the regulations state you can fit 8 units per acre, and you need to meet that 30% maximum development criteria. So when we started looking at these, we basically maximized the development at several iterations of it, from 55 units down to 40 something units, but without knowing exactly what plays into that developed area. It makes a big difference on how we design this. So I want to meet with you first to talk about it, get your input, talk about those design criteria, what kind of flexibility we may have with respect to waivers that might be able to be granted and allowed for something like this. We're not trying to recreate the wheel in town. We know these have been approved before. So I want to basically be consistent with what's been designed previously and what the board has been used to with respect to those design guidelines and allowable waivers. So,
So currently what on that plan, how many units are there?
So for this plan here, we've got 47 units. So all in all, it comes down to 47. So these here are, I believe these were the double wide. Correct. So they were double wide. I think they were 60 feet long, 28 wide. 28 wide. We had, driveways wide enough for 2 cars. We have updated grading and topography and wetlands identified and all that now. So we have a complete plan. So I haven't gone through the effort yet of grading it out to see how much area has been cleared. This parcel has been, it was select cut. It was logged a couple of years ago. So
As the plan stands now, do you know the approximate percentage that is developed? Because I know that 30% is something that is in the bylaw.
yes.
So do you know roughly what that sits at?
So with this plan as it stands here, you can see on this side, a full limit of the property that comes back here. This is Route 2. This is where the closed service area is. So right here, this plan, we took the developed area from the back of the units to the street, the right of way in between, with an envelope around the roadway for some grading. So it's not exact because I haven't gone through the effort of grading it out and putting in stormwater basins and things like that. So we took from the back side of the units all the way in, and this was pretty much the most we could fit within that 30% area.
Okay.
So the way the topography works out here is we're high on Cottage Lane. It comes down to a low point, basically down here near Baker Lane. So there is water and sewer available to tie into public water and public sewer. So my intention is to have the stormwater come down the low point down here. We come back up here. So there'd be a point up in here where we can do high point and back down. So stormwater wise, we can, I'd be able to fit it around the perimeter, likely back here. For most of the cul-de-sac would be able to put back here. The rest would have to come in this area here. The topography trend is really from Route 2 all the way down in this location, this general direction. So it should work stormwater wise. We've got the area. We've got the ability to fill and to make things work on the site. The topography is not that drastic, so it's a pretty workable situation here. So I guess first and foremost is understanding the flexibility you have with respect to the subdivision guidelines. really with roadway widths, things like that, curbing, the type of drainage. A lot of towns are really pushing low impact development now. So a lot of towns have bylaws for LID, which includes pavement reduction techniques. So instead of a 26-foot wide right away or roadway width. They're allowing us to reduce them down to, as little as 20 feet, which is the minimum fire lane width for the NFPA regulations. Still adequate for fire apparatuses to travel through, and obviously, as we go through this, we'll show a plan that can. A truck turning template that shows how the fire trucks can get through here, but. On top of kind of minimizing the amount of developed area, that helps with reducing the amount of runoff for a development like this.
Do you have an idea of how long the cul-de-sac is from the?
The cul-de-sac here, I think this is probably in the order of 600.
Okay.
600 feet. So that's another regulation we have to talk about with your design guidelines. What
How's
you
it, 800?
Yeah, that's why I.
So.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure we do fall within that 800 feet, but if we were
That was my,
longer than, and that all comes down to, in my opinion, here, the development area at 30%. If we're over it, this is just gonna get shorter.
Mhm.
So this is kind of my,
Where is Stevens Way, on the bottom down there?
so this is Baker,
Oh, that's Baker. right there.
Baker's here, and this is Cottage Lane.
Oh, that's College, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So there's a house here and a trailer in the backyard here. That's, if you've driven out there, you can kind of locate where that is, but it's. If you drive out there now with the clear cut, what's been cleared for trees, you can really crystal clear see where the limits of this property lies. So. So a couple of things in particular was, again, this subdivision regs, is there some flexibility with this? Or do we have to follow that to the law? Do we have an ability with this board to grant some waivers for things like pavement reduction or with reduction of the roadway, curbing?
Well, currently we allow Cape Cod berm,
Yeah.
require granite.
So, and again, this is before I've gone to design yet, but
Yeah.
with long back development, sometimes you eliminate the curb.
Meets and bounds, we let you do pins, steel pins instead of the granite.
Yeah.
On meets and bounds.
So with a manufactured home park like this, they're not individual lots.
Right, no, I know that,
Multiple
yeah.
Lots through it, but the perimeter does have a lot of monumentations out there, but. So again, just want to get a feel for things like that with waivers, like, do you guys allow those? with design
Pavement
standards?
width would really be the first step, once it's officially submitted, we can do a traffic study anyways, and so
Mhm.
we'll basically leave it up to the third-party engineer to,
Even for the roadway width?
yeah,
things like that?
because it's gonna be what's it's servicing besides,
Yeah.
My only concern right out of the gate is that you're coming onto two lanes, which aren't designed to take that much traffic, so, but I'm gonna let them, that's why we don't hire the professionals just for that reason,
Yeah. And like the developed area, like clarifying that definition, what's included in that developed area?
all
Is that
infrastructure, everything.
With the house, the grading?
The
full
grading,
impact?
anything that's touched is within that 30%.
All the grading for the.
Detention
backyard,
ponds,
detention ponds,
everything, yeah.
stormwater, everything.
If it's disturbed, it's part of the project.
The open space definition, there's a definition here where it says, subject to the approval of the planning board, stormwater management systems may be located within the required open space. Is that something that can be excluded, if it's a big basin back and it takes up a lot of area? Can that be excluded from that 30% number and be included in the 70% open space? That's
I
the,
think if you're up against a wall or something, it's,
Yeah,
can be discussed, but that's, I mean, I actually wrote the bylaw myself. I submitted it as a citizen. I didn't even do it as a board.
Yeah.
So, but that was the whole idea, was to save it's the, passive recreation for whoever's in the park. Not saying somebody can't come up and walk up the street and still utilize it.
Mhm.
Now, are you showing anywhere on there where there's actually gonna be a couple of public accesses to the open space?
we're in the concept stage. We haven't even
Okay.
started designing yet. So
But I encourage you to, rather than trying to reinvent the wheel later on, to leave some access points so people can use it without somebody saying, hey, you can't walk between my trailer and
Okay,
my home, my neighbor's home kind of thing.
That's
So,
one of my questions here
Yeah.
is we have to provide central facilities for recreation, open space and services. So
right,
what exactly is included in that recreation, open space there? Geared toward a 55 and older community. So for recreation, like those type of spaces, is that like a park, gardens, grills and seating and benches and stuff like that, or is all it is access, having kind of pathways and trails that kind of lead to.
oh, you must not have got the addendum that we gotta build a big clubhouse in there with Olympic sized swimming pool.
I didn't see that.
Use it on that.
I think it's supposed to be left more on it.
It's more, yeah, it's more in the guidelines of, like I just said, accessibility. Wouldn't hurt to have a, half dozen parking spots or, where people can actually utilize the trails or whatever may be in there. Should there be trails, whatever. I don't know what's every parcel in town, but I mean, I know where that parcel is.
Yeah, it's only, I was thinking parking too, because that's a bit of an issue, because I feel like on those, can we do no parking on those roads? Just because I know some of those developments, it gets pretty tight with like no on-street parking.
Or if you have a 26-foot wide road, you can park on the side of the road,
That's right.
Yeah. Can I see this, Jose?
You have 70% open space there?
So as this is shown here, like I said, we took the developed area because I hadn't graded it out yet. Just to the back side of the units toward the street. So it includes just here. I didn't include areas for stormwater in that developed area. I didn't include the off grading, so. Like I said, this is a concept stage, so right now,
You may have to shrink it.
building it out,
Yeah.
it's likely gonna happen.
It looks probably short of 70%.
So it's,
The other thing also, it looks like they divided the two open space areas with the backyards of those units on the corner there.
down here.
No, up, no, right in between. No, below your hand.
Where's Waldo?
You're gonna have to walk behind somebody's backyard to get into the other section of open space.
Where,
I guess it's, so it's a 26 acre plus parcel. Right now, the whole
way-
development
Hang on.
envelope here is 8 acres.
And there's only one way in and out of that section. You
Yeah,
have,
this will be connected around here, but yes, you would have to go behind it.
yeah,
it's still connected.
But
also, but there's no other exit for those units on that street.
not on the cul-de-sac
Yeah.
street, but there is.
On the
so
cul-de-sac.
connect through the throughway to
Yeah,
both Big Lane and Cottage. So, it's a cul-de-sac, it'll be designed to cul-de-sac standards. With the width and radius, accommodate fire trucks.
Well, with water and sewer, you definitely keep your development envelope a lot tighter too, which is good.
it looks to me like the whole dead end section should be eliminated, I guess, with the exception of a few houses at the beginning. In order to accommodate your open space requirements.
Well, the open space is based on an area, and that.
Yeah.
It's, even if there is access through the back, it's still connected, it's contiguous.
Right.
Not if there's a
Well,
trail, if there's a trail or something connected.
you're gonna be walking through my backyard to get to the rest of the open space.
I mean, it's a manufactured home park, so it's
Yeah.
not a private subdivision.
Right, yeah, there is some benefits to it, so, okay.
So, all right, so that's really, I just wanted to understand kind of where you stood and how you felt about. I guess the flexibility that I'd be allowed to waiver from the subdivision requirements in order to try to.
Okay. I've been watching this for about 20 years.
Okay, this is my first go around.
The questions that were never resolved was, have you contacted water and sewer yet? Because not, I'm going a lot of this by memory, because maybe 20 years, maybe longer. Not the guy you're buying it from, couple owners down the road, they put a 6-inch sewer line. It goes down the Patriots Road, and at the time, after that, the town says wasn't big enough. So I don't know if it is now or not. And another thing, are you gonna finish, or is somebody gonna finish that road that was never finished on that? It's kind of a subdivision.
Off of Baker Lane, is it Stevens Way?
It was one proposed coming into the site.
Yeah, will come into the site.
Yeah.
That road and all the manholes are all destroyed. Is that gonna be part of yours?
No, it would be eliminated. There would be no subdivision. Here. I think that came into the site here. But I didn't think it was ever constructed.
What's
At
constructed?
the end of Baker Lane, you're talking about,
Oh, he's talking about,
there's a section there that's not finished.
It's Baker Lane, right?
the West Lane.
Yeah, on the
what's
end.
near at the end.
Miles Case.
Stevens Way.
Stevens Way.
Yeah, yeah.
Stevens Way.
Up here. Yeah, this parcel up here. Is this where you're talking where it comes up?
Yeah, there's about half a.
No, when you actually come up Baker Lane, it turns into
Right to the
Stevens
end.
Way.
Yeah, the applicant doesn't own this parcel.
Baker Lane ends about 50 feet down.
Now, where are you pulling
before
your,
you Get to where
your
Stevens.
50 foot to get into yours? Where you pulling that off of?
It's this
Yeah,
property line in here.
Yeah, but is that a town road? You're pulling your frontage off?
Would that be Baker Lane?
It should, yeah, it would be Baker Lane and then cottage on both sides.
Yeah, because I go by memory now, when you go into there, there's a new house on the right.
well,
And he, at the time, years ago, he took the frontage off of it for being made a road. So now you gotta get 50 feet off of a town road to get in.
Stevens Way is
There's
not
a-
accepted road.
So
That'd be a big issue because you need that. That's.
yeah, I understand now. You said it's
Yeah.
not a town road now.
Yeah, it was never accepted because it was a walkaway developer.
Because if you can't get that, you got nothing.
I forget all about
And
that.
that's why another half a dozen people ahead of you walked away. For that reason.
Important,
That's a very
piece
important,
of information to know.
think you can't get there from here kind of thing,
Well, you weren't born.
because the
then.
regs state. Yeah.
Just as a reminder, this is not
yeah,
a site plan review.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
No, this is all good information
Yeah.
for me to. move forward.
And you want more?
Yeah, please.
go for it, Frank.
As you go in Baker Lane, all those houses, water from out back goes behind all those houses down to Patriots Road. Well, then, which now,
You said water, the stormwater runoff.
yeah, then it dumps
Yeah.
on Royer's land. And she never signed no right of way or nothing. And the state says the pipe going there is too small. So they would want about a 4 or 5 foot pipe crossing the state road. So if you're tying into that drainage, that's another problem. I think you know what I mean, don't you?
Yep.
It's behind all those houses like, look,
And that's one issue. Patriot. We're on the Patriot, that's what the restriction.
well,
is.
across is Patriots. Almost a Baker Lane, you go up, and it's a little bit towards Gardner, that's where it crosses. I'll think of more later.
Anything else? Yeah. All right.
So does this property abut Baker or is it off of what would be Stevens?
You come
I
off
guess
of,
I need to see where the.
Where the
subdivision
actual-
Started, what's public and what's not public, so Baker's public, but Stevens is not.
I believe so.
that's not a, like Kirk says, that's not accepted. So you
Right.
can't pull frontage off of that.
What's the width on Cottage?
The width of the right away.
Yes.
We own it. Cottage is. Sorry,
The width of the road?
the width of the property.
When he owns the property. Oh, so he bought that 72
So
cottage.
he owns the whole.
The full, okay,
Here.
okay,
And then there's a small sliver as part of.
He's here too. So the
Okay.
piece here, here, here. and so on.
Okay.
There's more ag, but probably.
Okay.
All right, well, I guess that's all the questions I have, so gives me some direction here to move a little bit forward. But,
sure.
Record plans, I guess, for Stevens Way,
I'll look.
you know, where,
There's
because if it was never recorded,
No,
it's not final, then I
I
wouldn't.
don't know, I felt the guys built forever done.
Were there any filed for them?
I have no idea. That was a long time, ago.
What's that?
way before my time. I mean, I was alive, but I wasn't on the board.
Plans that may have been filed for Stevens.
I didn't have time for politics back then.
I'll look. Unfortunately, we've had floods and fires in past years, so I will do what I can to find something.
Well, I appreciate the time.
Of course, no problem. Enjoy the rest of your day.
So,
You-
Al, are you gonna speak about South Main Street? Oops, okay. That would be helpful.
You take it over, you want me to just keep going?
Yeah, just keep it.
You're just here for the,
You
you're
guys-
just here for the fun stuff.
Yeah.
Okay,
So Alec is gonna help with Mr. Clarence and Mr. Bonner. Since I don't understand everything.
Back again.
I'm back again, yes. Got a phone call from our client saying that he was to come before the board. I believe all he's trying to do is add on to his existing house. And I think what the confusion is we had done a survey for him last year. And what he has, I just brought a small photocopy. Is he has,
I think, yeah, we got,
he's
What's that in the
got,
back?
uh,
Go ahead.
he's got one piece with the house on it.
Yeah.
Okay, and then after that, he had purchased from the town, right?
Yeah.
Purchased another piece
Mhm.
that wraps around it. So he has two deeds under the same name, both under his realty trust.
Yeah.
And
combine it.
and the house is on this smaller piece. The other piece that wraps around is vacant, both under the same ownership, and he's just trying to add on to the existing house here. And I believe he was under the impression that he needed to go before the board through the A&R process, and I was just wondering why he had that impression, I guess.
No, it's just a matter of combining it. You gotta combine them anyways. It's common ownership now anyways. You can't use separate deeds for building on them anyways. Nothing's grandfathered if you get two common owner,
Even if it's under the same name,
especially if it's under the same name.
so he can't add on to the house
Oh,
until,
you can combine the two lots.
so he would have to combine the two into one deed.
Yeah, because you can't, if they're both undersized lots held by the same owner, they automatically become one lot.
Okay, but it doesn't need to go before you guys though.
No, we can,
He would have to have his attorney mash them together into one
you
deed
can do it by description.
and or by description.
Yeah.
And then he can go through the building permit process.
Yeah, we're not creating a A and R.
We're not creating any lots, new lines. Yeah.
Unless the board has a problem with that.
no, because
You can just do it
it's,
by description. Record it.
it's not creating the, it's just adding more land to, it's,
Yeah.
This is your plan.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it.
Yeah, both pieces are under the same entity, but just, purchased at different times.
right,
The deeds are in your.
But I would just record both deeds with, I record the plan too. That way it goes with it.
You do an 81X or something,
Yeah, just to have it on
so it
file.
doesn't have to go before you
Still
guys.
recognize
But,
it.
okay. All right. I can explain that to him after.
Unless you want some real trouble, Mr. Ferris.
No, he wants an addition,
right,
that's all.
Yeah,
yeah, so I,
but no, yeah, you're also fine.
nice and easy,
All right.
there you go.
kind of what I thought, but
Easy, you know?
Yeah, no, that's good.
I'm taking this back.
Good seeing you.
So what was the check? Do we get that back now?
Actually, I didn't take a check from you.
Yeah, she dropped it off. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I will take that back to
Gonna
you.
start with a K?
I'm going.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Now, this next one has me concerned.
I was gonna say, I think we should adjourn. Let's just skip right over them.
We will take it under advisement.
So I have the giant file with me for the original filing for Bunny Dairy.
Just the one down right before Dugate's on the right, the little stand, everybody knows that.
And through discussion with Nicole and Heidi, they're not looking to change anything. They're looking to operate the business with the same trailer.
Same name, everything?
No.
Oh. Hope we can do that.
Yeah, I mean, if we're just doing a simple name change, right?
We just want ownership change.
Yeah.
That's what they call it. It has nothing to do with us.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So it's just a.
Yeah, well, Lori had asked me and I told that it's just a matter of
Yeah.
it's a formality, so.
I make a motion that we. What, just to. Because of,
For ownership.
right?
Yeah, with no other conditions other than what's.
Just
With the
existing.
same,
Right.
same condition.
Yeah. So I make a motion that we approve the ownership change with the provisions that
Conditions say the same.
exactly.
Yep.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Made by Charlie, seconded by Dennis.
There you go.
Any discussion?
And,
But
oh, no, I was gonna say, because actually I made the
I
motion,
was
so you
playing
probably should be
chairman,
doing
I'm
it.
the other
Exactly, you're pretty good. Might need a little more practice.
All in favor? Right. Okay.
You got it.
Okay.
But, wait.
All right, what's the new name? Izzy's?
Nice.
Who's Izzy? Oh, okay.
It's awesome. I like it. Sounds good. You're all that,
Thanks, guys.
You're good.
of course.
You can adjourn. That. Put it with this and get everything together. Fine. Thank you. Welcome.
So next meeting is May 23rd.
Do we, any new business for anybody? Seeing on most to adjourn,
So moved.
all in favor?